Okay, so just a short video then to try and explain the whole concept of adjacency bonus. There's a lot of people are always asking me, well, I get that your layouts that you show online are the best layouts, but why? Why exactly? What does the adjacency bonus achieve? How does it work? Now we could try to show you on the exosuit here, but there's no stats that are shown to us, so it becomes quite difficult to show you on that. So we're going to do the starship instead, right? Now you'll see I've got rid of a lot of my technology in order to be able to show you this. Now I'm not going to work with weapons at the moment, because actually no matter what I do with the weapons, for whatever reason you'll notice that the damage potential isn't changing. That's a bug. It's just that once it hits a particular number, for some reason it just stays there. Yeah, it will never come down. So if your damage potential has reached a certain amount, which is usually based on your most powerful weapon, which is bound to be the positron if you've built it, because it's basically the starship's shotgun, I guess. Yeah, like once it hits the highest number it's hit so far, it just stays there, it never goes down. So we'll get rid of the weapons, because that's not going to help us here. Although you did notice that by deleting it did come down slightly, which is odd. Anyway, we're going to work with a hyperdrive for the time being. You'll see at the moment it has a hyperdrive range of 11,413. Alright. If I move something away, you'll see that went down. Alright. Now that is purely because having that cadmium drive there next to this S-class right here, it's boosting this S-class right here. So instead of the 250 light year hyperdrive range, it's also getting a boost from this. So that 250 will probably be more like 280 or something. Possibly more. Let's figure it out. Alright, so 276. Yeah, about an extra 150, right? So that actually is making that almost 1.5 times as effective. Okay, so if we move everything away for just a second, try and keep them separate from each other. Right, so you'll see that simply having the techs installed but not next to each other only gives us 9,901 hyperdrive range. Alright, now if I put that one next to the hyperdrive, then the hyperdrive is boosting that, and that is boosting the hyperdrive. The hyperdrive has by default 100 light years, and this one has 250 light years. So that 250 has gone up, and that 100 has gone up. Okay, now if we were to put that next to that one in a line, well, that's now boosting that one, and that one's boosting that one. So 2 and 3 are boosting each other, but number 3 here is not boosting the hyperdrive at all, because it's not placed next to it, which is why we're better off in boxes like that than we are in lines like that. Alright, so you notice hyperdrive range in a line, 106.98. Place them like that, 108.36, right? So the box is better. Now in the case of the hyperdrive, we've also got some extra technologies. Now most of the technologies in the game will also have a sub technology that's not one of these upgrade modules, so you can build it, delete it, build it again, right, which you can't do with these upgrade modules. In this case it's the emergency warp unit. Alright, so let's place that in and see what that does to it. Right, that boosted that one quite a bit, right? So again, move it away, 108.36, 11001. Alright, so that boosted that one quite significantly. We put the indium drive in. Alright, again, another boost. Move that one up, another boost. Now, you'll see that if I put that next to the A-class, not as much as a boost. Put that next to that one, the indium drive, not as much of a boost, because the indium drive is only actually adding 50U, whereas these ones are adding 250U. So the boost, putting it next to a 250U one, is going to be better than placing it next to the 50U one, which is why you always aim to put your best upgrade module in the best possible position. So if, like most technologies, you're going to have the tech, the upgrade unit, and the 3 upgrade modules, right? So you always want to place your best one in this position, right? Because it's now being boosted by both the hyperdrive and the emerald drive and the other S-class upgrade module. Okay, whereas if I put that one there, it's only getting 2 boosts rather than 3. Okay, so always put your best one based on the stats it's got, not necessarily the class, because there is some crossover. You might actually have an A class that's slightly better than your current S classes. Maybe your S classes are a bit rubbish for an S class. Right, always put your best one here based on what stats they've got. Okay, so if I move these all back. Right, now, you might not want the emerald and cadmium drive in this case, because you don't actually need them for travelling to different systems. Right, this indium drive will actually get you to the blue stellar bodies, to the red stellar bodies, to the green stellar bodies, and to the yellow ones that the hyperdrive already allows you. Right, so you don't necessarily need them, but like I say, they are providing a bit of a boost to the hyperdrive. Right, so there it's 11138. 11413. So if I delete 11413, if we remember that, if I delete these all together, 11138. Right, so you'll notice that when they were down here, right, oh, not got the stuff on me to rebuild it, but while they were down here, they were achieving literally nothing. Right, they weren't adding anything at all to our hyperdrive range. Okay, but putting them next to these allowed them to boost the ones that were. Okay, so if you haven't got room to put them next to your upgrade modules, don't bother having them. Right, they're a waste of space. Right, now let's have a look, see if we can do anything with manoeuvrability. Right, so if we separate all of this out, and we learn that simply having everything installed gives us 517. All right. But having it installed in the correct places, right, in this case we're just gone wrong. Right, there it's 859, so you can play around with it a bit, try and figure out what the best. Right, 859. Let's try putting the sublight amplifier next to the pulse engine, and I bet you that's a lot less. 831. Right, and that's because the sublight amplifier is the tech, adds 30 pulse drive power, whereas these ones got totally different stats that they're boosting. Okay, so by having the pulse light amplifier in this position, all that you are boosting is that 30 pulse drive power. Alright, whereas by having that one there, we are boosting pulse drive efficiency, we're boosting the boost, and we're boosting manoeuvrability. Alright, now they're all manoeuvrability 12, but if I had a manoeuvrability 11, for example, I wouldn't be putting that one there. Alright, I'd put it in whatever the worst position was. So always put your best one in the best position. Okay, now that one's interesting, right? So the photonics core, 15, 15 and 11, right? So let's have a look at maybe moving that into there. What do we get? 859.5, I think that's the same, isn't it? Yeah. So, I hope that gives you a general idea anyway of the concept behind the adjacency bonus. I'm sorry if I've not been very clear, it is ridiculously hot in my room right now, so I'm having a bit of difficulty concentrating, to be honest. But yeah, that's the basic concept. So you're always better off in a square with an offshoot or two. Don't put it in lines, you're wasting your potential if you're putting it in lines. And like, just build to your means. If you haven't got a great big amount of open space here and you need space for items you're collecting, then so be it. Just put your best possible techs in and ignore the ones that aren't as good, but always try to have a 2x2 square at least, because you're going to be getting a lot more out of it than you will having a line of 4 different techs. And that's the general concept behind adjacency bonus. And you will find that it's worth playing around, because occasionally you come across a tech that's better off like that, right, as a cross. But the reason I always suggest the boxes is that there's almost none of the tech that do that, and having it as a cross obviously means that it's far more difficult to fit everything else in. So if I've got a cross situation going on here, then actually we've got all this wasted space around it. The boxes could, if you're doing 4x4 boxes or taking up a 3x2 space like this is, then it's far more easy to fit everything in than it is trying to fit boxes around this sort of situation. Right, so you know, I would need to somehow magically fit everything in, like one there and another one there and another one there and another one up there, because most techs you're going to find are 5s, and you know, if you do that, let's just outline. Right, so you've taken up everything in this area, well then what? You know, then you've got just lines. So in the vast majority of cases you are far better off just doing the squares. But if you're working on a build where you're only really focusing on one specific technology or two, right, you're not planning on building much else on your ship, then by all means play around with the cross shape, because actually you might get slightly more at something like that. In this case not really, because that's 770 compared to 859, you know, so in most cases you are going to find this is the better layout. But I think it's the shield. Let's have a look. I think it's the shield that works better as a cross. We shall soon find out. Okay, shield strength 2052. Right, as compared to, no, that one's better that way as well. Yeah, better off like that. I can't remember what tech it is, but there is a tech that is better off in a cross, but it's not really worth it, to be honest. You're always really better off just doing this this shape, where you've got 2x2, plus if you've got space for it, the upgrade for it. Bearing in mind that in some cases like this one, the upgrade isn't always necessarily worth taking up the extra space if you're a little short on space. I mean, these are providing 30% extra shield strength, and that's only doing 7%, so you know, it's up to you. Yeah, I think this video is long enough, and I hope that I made the point I was trying to make, and that you understand adjacency bonus or tech bonus or whatever you want to call it just a little bit better. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!